Will Ferrell is back, everybody. Did you miss him?
Yay!
No? Okay.
Yay! You love Will Ferrell, don't you?
I honestly, that is my dream. Nick Cage is up here. Will Ferrell's just below. I think Will Ferrell could sit there and stare at me, and I will be crying in tears. And there's something about his face. I don't know what it is, but yeah, love Will Ferrell. I do think he gets a bad rap with the critics. I'm going to be honest with you. And yeah, he's got a brand new film now, all about the Eurovision Song Contest. So do you want to explain the story for this?
Yeah, absolutely. So Will Ferrell plays Lars, and he is joined here by Rachel McAdams. Again, absolutely fabulous.
Oh,
Love her. She plays Sigrid. They are childhood friends. The film opens with Lars as a child. His mother has recently passed away, and he's sad and he's lonely, and he's sitting on his father's stairs in the lovely house in Iceland. And he is kind of lost, sad, and then he hears ABBA on Eurovision Song Contest singing Waterloo, and he suddenly comes alive and he starts dancing in front of the television, and his friend Sigrid, played by Rachel McAdams as an older version, she starts dancing as well. She's never spoken as a child until this moment, and Lars kind of teaches her how to sing. And from there, a lifelong relationship, blooming romance is kind of formed between the two characters, will they, won't they, as they start a band called Fire Saga and aim to be the Eurovision champions of the future. This is got a whole number of elements that I love. First and foremost, Iceland. Iceland is my spiritual home. I want to be buried in Iceland at the bottom of a mountain in Iceland.
Okay, just making that note now. Just making that note. Yeah, cool.
I want to retire to a farm in Iceland. I'll learn farming just so I can go and live in a really small community in the Icelandic hills. I love Iceland a bit. I've been twice. I want to go again, like literally next year. And just seeing that on the screen and seeing the places I've been, I was like, oh, I've been there. And that was lovely to see. And yeah, love that. Love the fact that it talks a lot about elves. Icelandics love elves. They properly believe that elves exist. So
wow.
It absolutely nailed that fact, because there's this whole subplot that Rachel McAdams' character Sigrid believes that elves exist, and she keeps asking the elves to help them. So love the fact that it's set in Iceland. Love the fact that obviously it's about Eurovision. Over the last kind of 5 years or so, I've really gotten into Eurovision. So I love the campy fun of Eurovision. Obviously, we've not had it this year, so it's great to see some form of Eurovision in 2020. And then finally, you've got Will Ferrell, who, like you, I think is hilarious, and Rachel McAdams as well. So it ticks all the boxes on that front. That said, again, I don't want to seem weird when it comes to film run times, but when I saw it was 2 hours, 4 minutes long, that kind of put me off a little bit. In the end, I personally don't think any comedy should be longer than 90 minutes, 100 minutes. And I thought maybe they were going to drag the idea of Eurovision out a lot longer than it needed to be. And in the end, that's exactly what happened and exactly how I felt. It is campy fun, very, very silly, and it has, I've got to say, got a good few laughs spread through really thinly, I've got to say. I enjoyed it for its light, campy, fun moments. I loved the relationship between Will Ferrell and Amy Adams. I think it was really sweet, a lot sweeter than I thought it was going to be. So it's perfectly fine. I think it'd do really well, and I think people will really enjoy it. But what did you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I don't think it's his best. I don't think it's his worst. I think it finds like a middle grey area, to be honest with you. And I think Will Ferrell's much better in these kind of lower budget indie dramas, like something like Downhill, which we saw earlier on in the year, which I loved. And I just kept thinking, wow, he's so much better in that because he's given more of a fleshed out character. And he just works better. And you're right, Rachel McAdams is unbelievably terrific in this. She's so good. You sympathise with her. You really love her character. She's really funny. And she has this kind of story arc that he doesn't have. He's an idiot. He's a real idiot towards her. And he does things. And it's not even funny. And I'm like, what are you doing? Thought it was a good parody on Eurovision. There's a great scene involving a sing-along where they bring back all the Eurovision past winners. That was great, and it's kind of a medley of all these different hits. But after that happened, the second half for me just dragged. Starts off so strong, and then the second half it just kind of goes downhill for me. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Like I said, not his best, not his worst. I think it's worth the time on Netflix. But yeah, 2 hour length, I don't think so.